Okay. All right. Am I recording? I am. Okay. I'm not good with the technology, so sorry, guys. And I'm also not used to speaking in front of a ton of people. So the more names that show up, I'm going to like freak out. So anyway, my name's Melissa Precourt. Everybody calls me Missy, and I'm a diamond leader on Todd's team. Thanks, Meredith. Oh, you're so nice. And I assume you all are all here because you're interested in a make and take class. So I just wanted to give you like a little overview. This is not my make and take class. This is from Lisa Zimmer. So if you are not familiar with Lisa Zimmer, I highly encourage you to go check her out. She is all over the place. She is on YouTube. She is on Facebook. She has a public business group, and she also has a website that is lisazimmer.net, I believe. So this is all from her. And I just want to say that I got to Diamond without doing make and takes, but my road to Diamond was pretty awesome. But then I started to feel a bit stale, and I was a little bit stagnant in my business. And I was trying to revamp my business at the end of 2018, and I stumbled across Lisa not for the make and takes, because to be honest, I hate make and takes. Did anybody hate them? Because I hate them. And so just that word, I would absolutely like ignore anything that had to do with that. And a lot of people on my team have done make and takes, and I thought they were great for existing customers. But I found, at least on my team and those that I know, that they weren't working for enrollments. So when someone would talk about how they wanted to get extra volume on the last day of the month and they were going to host a make and take, I was like, this isn't going to work. So I stumbled across Lisa because of the trifold. So do you all know about the trifold? Because if you don't know about the trifold, you kind of need, I don't know if you need it, but I think the make and take will go a lot smoother if you have the trifold. So really get familiar with the trifold and Lisa Zimmer's 60-second enrollment. It's not really enrolling somebody in 60 seconds, but it is enrolling them quicker, and it is completely customer focused. So get familiar with that, because your make and take and the closing part of your make and take and enrolling somebody is going to go a lot smoother. So,
Missy, can I ask you just to talk about that, the trifold for a second, for people that don't know what it is? Like, she sells it, and maybe just explain how she uses it real quick.
Okay, sure. So the trifold is, it's based, it looks like this. Okay, this is what the original, I hope you guys can see that, what the original looks like. And basically it's a class handout. It goes over what essential oils are, why doTERRA, so this is the inside. I'm not allowed to send it to you because everyone has to purchase their own. It's $20. She does have some kits on there, and on the back, which is, this is the genius part, which you probably can't even see, but it tells people how to order. So I have been looking, and this is what I stumbled upon with Lisa, is I've been looking for something that I could pass out to people. Have you ever had somebody say to you, like, how can I get more information on that? Or do you have a little something? And I'm like, now. Or my chiropractor wanted to sell oils or teach other people about oils, and all I had was a business card and a class handout. I didn't have anything in between. And they asked me if I had a little brochure, and I'm like, no, that's not how it works. And so I've left a few chiropractors not doing anything because I just didn't have an in-between. So this was exactly what I was looking for. You pay $20 one time for this. It's completely edible. There's a big blank white space here so that you can put your information, and they encourage you to put your face on the front. People will buy better, I guess, if your face is there and they know who they're buying from. It's my business card. It's my class handout. It's something I give to somebody else when I'm just meeting them on the street or at a coffee shop, and people will enroll they will enroll with just this little thing. So you pay $20. Everybody has to get their own. So if you have team members, they just pay $20, and Lisa shows you how to edit it. It's so easy. So this was my original. I've changed it a little bit, just to be a little bit more me with my face and everything on it. So anybody have questions about the trifold? So her 60-second enrollment, you don't really need the trifold, but they kind of go hand in hand. So we'll talk about it. But this keeps, for me anyway, this keeps your class under control. The trifold. So this is your key right here. I think you could do this class with other handouts, but I just think this one is the best. So I'm going to go over what I do. Lisa Zimmer gives, I'm just going to say Lisa Zimmer like the whole time over this, but she's pretty amazing and she's very giving, and there's a lot of free things in there that she does give in her, I think it's called the Lisa Zimmer Essential Biz Tips. That's a public group that you can join. It's business only. She goes live in there once a week, and she gives all kinds of tips. But she has in the file section for free a complete rundown of how to run your class. So I decided to do a make and take. I never saw one performed before. I took her notes and I just did it. So I will send, if you all I don't know how I'll do it, but if you all send me a private message, I will send you my PDF. Hers is a little jumbled for me when I'm in a class. So I kind of separated it and just wrote down the steps in a little bit more organizational way. So I will send you mine if you want it. So just all you have to do is message me on Facebook or something. Or you can email me at melissa@naturespipeline.com. So anyways, okay, so I'm going to go through when I also can send you to my invite. It's really easy. I just invite people to come. I text it to them, and I've had a ton of people come to my classes. So I've had a lot of people maybe say no to me or not come to my class, or I'll have very little people come to my classes. This is what I mean when I said I was stagnant in my business. So why would you want to do a make and take before I get into it? It breathes new life into your class. People actually will come. It's fun. Even when you say it's $5 a roller on your invite, people want to come to this class. It engages new customers and existing customers. So you can have both at your class, and it's actually beneficial to have existing customers at your class because they actually help you teach it, you'll see. You get more enrollments if you do it correctly, because people are not walking away with overwhelm. When people are overwhelmed, they just say no to everything. They don't walk away feeling like that. And you're going to hear in this class, it is so simple. And I read right off the trifold. That is exactly what she recommends, to read off the trifold. You don't want to be brilliant. You just want to be duplicatable, because you want to create sharers and builders. You want people to know that they can do this too. So just remember that when I'm reading, you're like, no, people are going to think I'm not smart or I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm reading it, and that's not true. So you can re-engage people that haven't ordered in a while, or people that maybe you've lost touch with. Maybe in the beginning of your business, you didn't do that great of a job with, and they're not on LRP. This is a perfect way. I hate picking up the phone and be like, hey, we haven't talked in 2 years, but where's your order? This is a perfect way to be like, hey, I'm doing these fun classes right now. Why don't you come and see? I've had so many people. I have not had one negative response. You book classes off of classes. If anything, I maybe booked one class off of a class when I would teach my old style. Sorry, I can't do two things at once. So I was going to leave a class with something more tangible than paperwork. Yes, Steph. And I know you've done these too. So you book classes off of classes. I am booking 3 to 4 classes off of the classes that I teach, which is incredible. Maybe some of you are better at it than I am, but for me, that is huge. People want to have this class. It's fun. You don't want to have a class and invite all your friends and it's kind of boring. I mean, I would be sick of hearing myself talk. 45 minutes to an hour of me like, by the time I got to Melaleuca and what it did, I was like, shut up, Missy. Like I was getting sick of myself. So you don't feel like this. You're having fun with everybody. You are making friends. It's awesome. It's an awesome way to build community. I have notes on the side here, so I don't like miss anything with you guys. Your customers come over and over and over again because Lisa's so smart. She spent a lot of money in marketing and psychology behind marketing. And there's all different classes. There's the essentials make and take, which is what I highly recommend you start with because it's going over the top 10. Gets a little bit into the natural solutions kit too. But there's like babies and pregnancy, there's digestive health, respiratory health, there's toxin-free living, women's wellness. Like I think she has over 20 make and take sheets. So you just download them once and that's it. It's one time. So your customers will just keep coming and they will always bring a friend. It's like, I used to tell people, bring a friend, and nobody would bring a friend. They're like, can I bring 2? Can I bring 3? I'm not kidding. So your enthusiasm about the class and in the invite is really gonna create momentum. You might have to be like, oh, you're gonna have to wait till the next class. Your LRP will increase because now your customers are coming. Maybe you're reactivating customers and they're really seeing how to use the product. You can tailor the experience to your market. So I looked around in my market and there were a lot of moms with teenagers. Guess what? There's a teen track make and take handout. And so I used that and now I'll be having another one because the girls in that class were like, Mom, I want this. One of them went on LLV. The daughter, her mom she said, I've been telling her she needs to take the vitamins, but she won't. And because she heard it from me, I'm not that cool, but whatever. You know, so you can tailor it to your market. So look at your market. Are they into pets? There's one for pets. I've been begged to have a pet one. So, okay, you're creating sharers. They're bringing friends. People will walk away because how simple this class is. They will walk away and they will want to go do it themselves. I'm not that cool stuff. They'll like, can I just like have one of these at my house? And sometimes they want me to teach it. And sometimes they're like, can I do this? Especially if they've been using oils for a little while. It's literally that easy. So remember, not brilliance, be duplicatable. I talked about that. Oh, this is another important tip. I was like, why does this class work? My first make and take class, this is a really cool thing. I know, I swear I'm going to get into the tutorial, but I just feel like all of this is important because this is what helped me make my decision in doing the make and take class over my other regular intro class, is that in December, in the beginning of December, I taught at my best friend's house. She's been using oils for almost as long as I have, and she decided that she'll introduce it to some of her friends. And so she gathered about 8 people. It was a great class. It was like an hour. We all sat around a dining room table. It was a beautiful class. It really was. People enrolled. It was awesome. But I felt like my best friend was a little bored, even though she knows about oils. So when I decided to do this new class in January, she came to that. And she brought one of the customers that enrolled at her class in December. And 5 minutes into the make and take, she's making all these faces at me. She's like, I'm taking notes. I'm whispering, like, I hope you can hear me. And I'm like, what? And so halfway through the class, because people are talking, she's like, oh my goodness, this class is way better than the other class. She goes, it was great. It was informational, but she's like, I don't know. I like this class better. It's more hands-on. And then I asked the customer, I said, which class did you prefer? Did you enjoy the class? She's like, yeah, I really liked it. I said, which class did you prefer? The one in December or the one in January or this one? And she says, oh, well, I like them both, you know? She didn't really know me. And I'm like, no. I'm doing a survey. She goes, oh, well, I like this class so much better. Adults, they learn best with experience. And so a hands-on experience, observation, and then discussion. So they need all three to like really get it. So this is what this class provides. And then my last thing is you come home with cash in your pocket like every night, which covers the cost of your oils and your bottles that you purchased or whatever materials you have. But I really think that's really important for a new builder. When they have spent maybe 2-3 hours preparing for a class and then teaching the class, and maybe they don't come home with any enrollments, and their husband's like, what? Like, this stinks, you know? But doesn't mean you won't get an enrollment, because we'll talk about the follow-up after, but at least they came home with some money, right? And then they have these contacts that they can follow up with. And so husbands aren't mad. You're happy, you're still making money, and it's just paying for your time. So that's just like another perk. Okay, anyways, I'm done with that. I'm gonna get into the make and take. Are we good? Am I talking too much? See, this is what happens to me.
Missy, can I ask you a quick question?
Oh yeah.
When you reach out to Meredith and you want her to host a class, do you offer her the list of topics that are available? You can do pets, you can do gardening.
So I have a binder now, and I just have I ask, because if I don't have the make and take, I'll buy it if it's a subject that they think their audience will like. So I'll be like, do you want everybody keeps choosing the class that they went to. So, which is, I really have only done the essentials and the teen track class. So people, it seems that they're like, no, I think this is a good one for people to start off with. So I think the essentials make and take is a good one to purchase. You're definitely going to get your money's worth out of that one. And there are other things you can do with that make and take sheet, but I'm not going to get into it. You can like watch Lisa, but if you're into vendor fairs, and you can use it for one-on-ones and all kinds of cool stuff. It's very brilliant the way that all of the make and take sheets are written out. It's good for the class, but it's also good to get people on LRP. So, okay. So when people come into the class, I don't have food or anything like that until like later. But all they have, I actually set the table. So I've had really big classes, and I've had like small classes where we can be around a table. If you're going to have a big class, like more than 6 or 7 people, I would say make sure that there is another advocate there, because it can get unruly. And then I get all clappy when people aren't listening. And so, I hate doing that. So it's better to have a bunch of them and make it smaller. I think it's a little bit more intimate, get around a table. So I set the table. I might have a glass of water, and then I'll have this trifold, and then I have this drawing slip. Yeah, it's a drawing slip, but it's really not, we're not drawing anything. This is free, again, in that public Facebook group that Lisa has, but all it's asking them is their name, email, phone, if they have a Facebook name, and their top 3 health concerns. And then on the back, which is pretty brilliant, is all of like the make and take topics that she has. So they can check off which ones interest them, so that you're collecting these and you're like, okay, which one will I get next? Or what class will I have next that I know they're going to come and maybe bring a friend? So I have it right there. It's like their place setting in a pen, and I have them fill that out. And I collect it before class, because instead of asking and going around the room, which is what I used to do, about what's their top health concerns, I actually have it now in my hand, and I take a mental note. I might write it down. And so when I am talking and we're doing the make and take, I'm take a note of that. So they fill that out, and then after I collect them, I pass around a roller, and she calls it the Yay Happy Roller because that's her team name. You can call it whatever you want. I call it the Nature's Happy Roller. I put a label on it. I just got these from Live Naturally Tools. This is me. I just wanted a label on it because I was passing them around and they were ugly. So this is a combination of, the recipe is in her group. It's Citrus Bliss, Whisper, somebody help me, Balance. Nobody knows. Oh, an Elevation. Okay, it's 4 oils. And I pass it around, and I have everybody smell it and put it on their wrist if they choose to. So this is going around, and everybody loves it, men and women. They love the smell of this. It smells really awesome. And so I have my sheet in front of me. So this class sheet that I sent to you guys, have it in front of you. It's like your little checklist, like I'm doing right now. I'm like looking at it, right? It's your checklist, especially when you're new, to just go through and make sure you're hitting all the steps. So I just tell them to rub their wrists together. They smell it. They say it's so great. They ask me what it is, and I'm like, I'm going to tell you all about how to get it for free at the end of the class. But it's good for hormone balancing, mood balancing. It's very uplifting. It gives you positive body image, self-confidence. It's very de-stressing, and you can use it as a pure fume. And then I just leave it at that. And then I tell my story, that what made me share oils with them today. And it's 1 minute. And I cut my story down way, way short. Super, super short. Not getting into any details. But I really try to keep it to 1 minute, 2 minutes max. And then I give them a summary of the class. I think adults do best when they know what's coming, especially they don't see any make and take things out. There's nothing out. They don't see any of my handouts. They don't see any of the materials. So they're probably like, I thought I was coming to make some things. So I let them know that we are going to talk about what essential oils are, what makes doTERRA different, how we can use the oils on ourselves and on our family. We're going to talk about how we can get them in our homes if we choose to do so. And then we're going to get into making the rollers and having some fun. That's it. So they know it's coming. So I tell them, so grab your trifold, and you don't have to remember these steps. But so grab your trifold in front of you, and they grab it. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. They actually listen. Like if I had another handout, they're like looking at the prices. They're just really going through it, and they're totally not paying attention to me, and they are never following along. But they actually follow along. So they grab the trifold, and I say, open it up, and they're all doing it. It's like magic. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna read number 1, and I read it. I literally read it. What are essential oils? They're naturally found in the seeds, bark, stems, roots, flowers, and other parts of the plants. They're highly concentrated when they're distilled for purity, potency, and efficacy. And they're used for a wide range of emotional and physical wellness applications. And I read it just like that. And they're like, okay. And I say, you know, if you feel really funny about reading it, because you feel like they're going to think you don't know what you're talking about, throw some of your own brilliance in between. You know, talk about, you know, how peppermint equals, you know, 20 drops of peppermint tea, and do your little things in between, but always read it. And then I'm like, okay, so number 2, why doTERRA essential oils? And then I say there's so many essential oils on the market, so I'm still doing my class, but I try to keep it right to the trifold. And I'm like, Sally, do you think you could read that first section for us? And I just have them read it. That's not a Lisa Zimmer thing. It was a suggestion by one of my customers, like, oh, get them involved. So every now and then I'll be like, oh, can you read that bullet point for me or whatever? And then we might discuss the point a little bit. So that's the first page. Then the middle is the top 10 oils, but you're not going through it. So you say, so we're going to skip the oils down the middle because we're going to actually get into what those are all for while we're doing our make and take. But you guys can quickly read yourselves what they're for. But we're going to skip over to number 3. How do I use essential oils? And then there's the aromatic internal topical use. So do what you normally do. Again, we're just reading it, just reading it. And then number 4 is how do I establish a foundation for optimal health? And I will usually just have the box of Lifelong Vitality Pack there and just talk about how they're a unique vitamin. There's no other vitamin that's on the market like them. Again, there's just a little small paragraph about them and just read that. And then we're going to go over to the back, which is number 5. So you're just following the numbers and they are following along with you. So you can say, so how do remember I told you I'm going to tell you how you can get these oils. Now it seems like, oh, we're getting to how do we get these oils really fast, but we're just going over it. And I'm like, we're just going to go over how to get these oils before we get into, or I say before we get our hands dirty or something like that. And I just read it. I say, so how do I purchase doTERRA essential oils? You get your own wholesale account free with any reduced priced starter kit. And then I flip over to all the starter kits. And I say, this is just a few. These are actually my favorites and they're the most popular. I said, I love how doTERRA gives us options. They're always giving us options. Or you can choose the $35 option and pick your products. It's just like Sam's Club or Costco. And you also have the option to renew for $25 at the end of the year. You receive a free 15 ml bottle of peppermint oil with your renewal. And then here's another option. It's to buy through the Loyalty Rewards program. It's a monthly ordering program, and all you have to do is buy one thing a month. That's the minimum. And you'll receive 10 to 30% additional back in product credits to be redeemed for free products plus some other perks. And then I go back to the kits, okay? Go back to the starter kits, and I say, we're going to be working with the Home Essentials kit today because with this kit, you can solve 80 to 90% of the problems and ailments that come up in a home. So I say, okay, close your trifold and put it to the side. And they're like, and they scutter and they put it away. And then I start to bring out, usually my husband's with me, but we start to bring out the make and take sheets. So you want to have them laminated or in some kind of sheet protector thing. And we just pass them out. I usually do like one to every 2 people. And we'll put the, what is this? Fractionated coconut oil on the table as well. People always ask me, do you use doTERRA? Yeah, I try, but with a make and take, this goes really fast. So this is another brand that I like, and I get it on Amazon. It's just bigger. It comes like in bigger bottles. So I always do the pump. It's just easier for them. It doesn't work. Okay, so now we're going to get into the oils and we're going to start making some things. And before that too, I actually say, when I talk about the kits, I say, don't worry about picking what kit you want right now. I'm going to help you choose what kit is comfortable for you later on after we do this make and take. And so I go through the recipes. There's 5 recipes on here. Some of them only have 4. I say, so the first recipe that we're going to make tonight is the Balm Roller. And I bring it out. And they don't have these yet. They're just watching me. And I say this is for immune health. This is something that you would rub on the bottoms of your feet every night on a daily basis, or when you're not feeling so good, you can actually just rub it on your feet every 2 hours. And I show them how to make it. I give them a little oil hack for life. I show them how to get the roller off the bottle without a tool. Hope you guys know how to do that. So I give them this little oil hack, and they're really paying attention. And then I say, so this is how we're going to make it. We're going to, we're going to use On God first, and we're going to drop it. And I actually make one in front of them. And I ask them, so raise your hand. Sorry. Okay, I will. Once you do a little, okay. Sorry, I can't do two things at once. I'll answer the questions after. So I say, so raise your hand if you would like to make this roller for $5. And I say for $5. So it reminds them that they have to pay for it. And people just raise their hand. And I only give the rollers out to the people that have raised their hand. And then I take the first oil out. Now, this is really important, is to have all your caps off, just to make it flow easier, and only pass around one oil at a time. Like, let it come back to you before you start the next oil, so that they are listening to the information. So I just talk about On God and how much I love it and what we use it for in our home. I don't go over every single thing. And then this is when I introduce like a resource guide. And I tell them, this is a resource guide that I use. I really encourage, if you're going to be an oil user, that you have one of these in your house. And I have a few there, and I give them suggestions. And then I'll read right out of the book what On Guard's for, and why you should use it, and why it's in this blend. And so I pass it around. I think it's like 5 drops each, and everybody does it. And so it takes time, so they can get a little chatty, and which is great, because if there is a customer that is already existing, they're telling them what they use On God for, and oh, we love the smell, and so they're chatting. Also, you want to encourage your customers that are existing, like if they use lavender for something, to tell their experience in like 30 seconds. It might be something you pre-plan. Hey, can you give an experience when I talk about peppermint or whatever? But have them share their experience, so you're not the only one talking. But again, a lot of it is just reading. We're just taking this stuff out and we're reading. So then I'm like, everybody did On Guard? Okay, great. And then I'm like, okay, so here's lemon. And I just say a little bit about lemon. And then I tell them, okay, you're gonna put 5 drops of lemon in there. And then it goes around again. And it takes a minute, but it's okay. If you have another advocate there, maybe you have 2 of them out, so it goes a little faster. It does get chatty. That's why it's better to kind of keep it small. But, I think when you have other advocates there and they're bringing their friends, that they actually help within the class, and so it's not all on you. And then we go to the next recipe, digestive health. This is for all things digestive. And I say what the blend is for, how you're going to use it on a daily basis. And then we just do the same process all over again. So then when everyone is done, when we're done making the recipes, everybody's got their things, and I'll do something fun. I'll be like, so let's get together and like, let's take a picture with our oils out. Like, I just make it like a friend, it's a friend get together. And so they get in the picture, like we're all having a good time. Like we're having a girls' night. And then, and if there's guys there, then hey. And so I say, we're all done. Okay, great. And then I say, so let's pick up our trifolds again. And they do. They pick up their trifolds again. This is why it's good not to have food on the table, because there's like a lot going on. And we pick up our trifold again. And I say, so let's review how we can get these oils for the best price. And then I read again number 5, right? Because maybe they've forgotten now, or now they're a little bit more into it and they see how easy it is, and now they're really considering it. And I just say, I'm going to hand out an order form. You can go ahead and fill out the information section, and then we'll come around and help you decide which kit to start with first. But let's start talking about how we can get some of your rollers for free. And that roller that we passed around in the beginning of the class that you guys all liked, let's talk about how we can get that for free. So I say you can get the Nature's Happy Perfume Roller for free when you start your own account tonight, plus this goodie bag. So I already have the roller in the goodie bag, and I have a goodie bag. Lisa encourages a goodie bag. I've always done one, but just some of your favorite products that maybe they might not get their first go around, so they can actually experience a little bit more of what doTERRA has to offer. So in mine is a Deep Blue Rub sample, a Breathe drop, a On Guard drop, a toothpaste sample, and then the shampoo and conditioner. And I just go over what those things are, that they're my favorite things, and that they'll get them when they start their own account today. We don't say get a membership or anything like that. Lisa explains it in her videos because people are like, oh, what? It sounds like commitment. But starting your account is less intimidating. And then this part is completely up to you. You have to decide what you want to do. I just heard last night, some people will give whatever rollers they made, they'll give them for free if they start their own account that night. I've never done that. But I'll say you'll get one of your rollers free if you start your own account. So they can get a roller free, the goodie bag, and the happy roller all for free if they start their own account that night. And then I'll say you also will get a roller for free if you book a class tonight, and they have to book it with me that night. So sometimes people are going home with all their rollers free because they don't make all of them. So that's completely up to you. Some people give a roller if they bring a friend or whatever. So that part's completely up to you. And then I just say, now we're going to chat one at a time. I'll go around the room. A lot of times I go in a different room, but this part I love because with the Make and Take, no one's leaving your class without talking to you unless they didn't make anything. Nobody can leave. They have to cash out with you. So I usually set myself up in a different room. It depends where I am, but I set myself in a different room at a table, and I just have my goodie bags out. I have my calendar ready with dates available that I can have a class, and I just have a resource guide just in case they want to look up anything. And I have all the forms there, and it kind of works like a store. People are waiting for me, and I get to talk to every single person. Now, if they don't enroll that night, if they need time to think about it or they want to use their rollers, I say, great, awesome. Because they filled this out, I'm like, I'm going to follow up with you on whatever specific day, and I'm going to see how you guys are enjoying those. If you enroll that night, I usually can get them on that follow-up call. They're expecting it because they love it, or they'll enroll at their own class. So, okay, I was really chatty. Okay, do you buy the rollers from where Lisa says to? I do. I get my bottles from only the Essentials shop. They're fast, they're pretty, and I like the quality. It is a plastic roller. Some people don't like plastic roller, but it's a little roller. And what I love about this too is that once they get their oils at home, they can just keep refilling this bottle, especially because I taught them that oil hack. So I do get it from there. I have considered, getting my bottles from and putting everything together myself, but I'm just trying to save myself some time. Because you can buy the only Essential shop, you can buy the labels. You can just buy labels and have your own bottles, or you can actually buy them pre-labeled, and that's how I do it. The shipping's included there. Does anyone have?
Missy, do you go through all of the different recipes at your class? Like you'll go through each one at a time until it's made, and then you'll do the second blend and the third one?
Yep.
Okay.
I do. There's been times where, because I do the pre-made rollers, I might not have enough of seasonal Zen. So I'm like, we're not making that tonight. So, but I still talk about it. We just don't make it. I'm like, oh, we're not making that one tonight.
Okay. And can you talk about how she'll put extra oils on the recipe that aren't in the kit, and you use that to get people on LRP?
Oh, yeah. So on the make and take sheet, she'll have the home essentials kit or the family essentials or whatever it is. But she'll also, in the blends, there's also other oils that are not in those kits. So if they want to make that again, or when it came around and they smelled it, or they like the benefits of it, we can be like, oh, we can put that on your wish list, and that's how you get them on LRP. We'll put that on your wish list, and we'll talk about it, on your follow-up or your unboxing, if that makes sense.
How long is your average class? Meredith wants to know.
45 minutes.
And then Jody wants to know, do you give them their free roller when they book the class or when they actually host the class?
I give it to them the night. I haven't had the night that they book it. I haven't had any issues with like people canceling and not end up having their class or anything like that. So I give it to them the night. Like they pull out their calendar and I'm pulling out mine. So, and it's funny. I've done classes where I don't even know these people, but now I feel like we're friends. Like they are committed to me with the class. So I don't feel strange. I don't know why, but do I feel like I have more enrollments? 100%, 100%. And I know that some people have said that they feel like they aren't getting enrollments from that class. You've got to change something. Maybe it's your confidence, or maybe you're skipping something because it feels weird, But for sure, I have you can ask Todd, he sees all my stuff, right? I have way more enrollments than I've previously had in, especially end of 2000.
Yeah, I was going to say that without giving out too much information, but Missy's team, like they're exploding. Like it's standing out. Like this is why I'm like, hey, Missy, what's going on over there?
Like, I'm not doing no make and take.
Tell me about that make and take.
Yeah, for myself with my personal enrollments, like, it's great, especially when you get to a certain rank, you might be always helping somebody else get the enrollments, and you're like, you kind of feel like that was your enrollment too, but the numbers aren't showing and they're not yours, And so I was doing that a lot, but now these are my own. They're my own.
Missy, have you ever done it in a local store, coffee shop kind of thing? Public place?
No. But I have someone on my team that has. I think Kai was on this call, but I don't know if she can talk, but I think she has, and her upline has as well. So
I've got to think that would actually work out really well, because people would be around like, what's happening here? How do I get involved in this? Are you coming back? And
for sure.
I'm sure if you were like at Wildflower doing it or something, people would be like, what's happening here?
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Does
anybody have any other questions?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm kind of whispering. Can you hear me a little bit? Because I'm at a coffee shop.
Oh, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I was wondering, what was I just going to ask? Oh my God, now of course I'm blanking. How do you actually enroll them? Do you have because I know a lot of times the trifold is so that they can go and enroll themselves. But if someone's enrolling at the class, do you print off like just an enrollment form and have them fill it out? How do you actually enroll them?
Yeah, so I've done a few different ways. I have the enrollment form right there and they just fill it out. My last class, I actually had my laptop out. I've never done this. And they just went in and filled their information, and I just finished it up. So they sat there and they each waited because they wanted it. And, that's when I brought out the food and stuff. So it was, I don't know, it was just like a fun time, and nobody minded waiting. So it actually kind of went better that way. And the information was correct in the system because they did it.
And then you're free to walk around and talk to people too while they're busy typing stuff.
Right. I mean, you're busy after these classes because you're like money or whatever it is, so for sure.
Josephine, can I unmute you so you can ask your question? Is that okay? I'm going to unmute you. So go ahead. Oh, maybe not. No, you have to do it. Sorry. There you go.
everyone. I'm just curious because I'm about to actually make a connection with a local organic coffee shop, and we're working on some ideas. So I was just wondering, because I know someone else had mentioned that they had it at a coffee shop, or if you can give just advice on how it turned out for them, and was there anything that they had to do in terms of doing it at the coffee shop? Like, did anything was anything different?
Hey, Kyra, I feel like Kyra maybe can't talk. That's why she's typing.
Well, Meredith said she did it, right?
Oh, Meredith did it, yeah.
What did I do?
Can you share your experience with the coffee shop? Like what you did? Was there anything you had to set up with them? Was there any special instructions for them?
Yeah, I contacted the coffee shop before and reserved a table. They had no problems with that at all. So it was actually a pretty big class. It was bigger than what I was wanting for a coffee shop. I really would like to keep it to like 4 to 5 people. I think I ended up having 11 at the coffee shop, so it was kind of large, but they were fine. Like they reserved the table, and then it was packed that night. So a lot of other people that were at the coffee shop were interested. So they started coming over and asking questions, and it was really good. And the coffee shop was fine with me being there. So they said that I could come back anytime. So that's usually where I have mine, like just a public make and take. I always have it at a coffee shop, and they're perfectly fine with it. But I try to definitely make sure how many people are coming so that I can reserve that spot.
Okay. And did you invite them personally, or did the coffee shop help you get people as well? Because this coffee shop looks like they want to help me get some people to come as well, like some of their own customers. So they're deciding if they're going to do a Facebook event or like an Eventbrite, and then I'll do my own outreach as well.
That's great. Like I wish the coffee shop would do that for me. So far They haven't. But so this was all just my own invites. And I'm hoping so far I've hit 3 different coffee shops. And I'm hoping that one of them, they're going to start also inviting for me. The other 2, I did all of the invites. One of them let me post like a flyer. But for the other ones, yeah, I just did all the inviting myself.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks,
Josephine, I would bring some backup if they're going to advertise it. You might get overwhelmed.
I know it's a small local organic coffee shop, but she's very excited, and I don't know if she'll be involved in the business, but it'd just be nice that I can have a place to go to and invite everyone instead of like going to the house. And so just looking for outside the box a little bit. So.
Missy, earlier, Allison was asking, what is the forum called? I assume drawing. I have trouble saying that word, drawing.
I think it's actually called like Spring Drawing Slip now or something like that. Okay. But I think if you type in drawing slip in that, it'll be fine.
Okay.
Meredith says, sounds like not many, but curious. What's your percentage of people who enroll at class versus just saying, I have all the info and link here on the trifold. I'll just enroll when I get home later. I've had a couple people go home and do it themselves, but mostly people enroll at the class, and I would say maybe 60% enroll the class, and maybe another like 40 I have to like follow up. Like they go home and I just make sure I follow up. So if you really want that sale, right, you gotta call them when you say you're gonna call them. And I make sure I tell them that I'm going to do that. And they're like, oh yeah. And I've actually done the link generator. This is where it's really good because you do get to sit with them. They're giving you the cash. We're talking about what's comfortable. Okay, and never say like, here's this kit. Even Lisa has, if like it's just not in their price range, one of the kits, the 150 kit, if that's not in their price range, you can actually, you can enroll for $85 or $55 if you have to go there. So her tools are beautiful and it's free. And so we'll talk about what's comfortable for them. I asked them if they, could get anything, what would they get? And so I just write that down. It's like in my notes. And so when we talk again or we're texting, a lot of people have been texting me. I create a link generator for them, and they just do it right through that. So that the link generator came like at a perfect time for this particular thing that we're doing.
That's a great idea, Missy.
Yeah.
The link generator. That is so awesome, because you can be like sitting there like, okay, I sent it to you. When you get home, it's all there. You just press a button and boom, it's pops up. I love that.
And just encourage people, say, use these every single day. Like, use these constantly. It's not going to work if you just like let them sit there, or you're just using it like haphazardly, you know? Use them every single day. I don't let a week go by before I contact them. It's like a couple of days. How'd that work for you? I mean, the essentials, it's like digestive health. Usually the people that are making that, they actually have digestive issues, right? It's something that's happening every single day. Sleep, the seasonal zen, happy head for a headache, and the balm. Like, the balm is probably the only thing that they might not see a result right away, you know, but everything else, it's kind of like, oh, that works, you know? And plus you're giving them an experience in the class. I didn't even mention it, but I do still do my peppermint in the class. I still give them that experience. And when I'm talking about CPTG, we'll do a little wild orange experience. So they're getting pretty oily in the class between the roller, smelling all the oils, and then the peppermint and the wild orange. So
you're still doing the peppermint mouth thing?
I don't do the mouth. I don't know why. What I'll do is, just when we talk about how potent the essential oils are and that whole, like, you know, peppermint tea thing, we'll just do the drop in the hand. I tell them to sit up tall, and we take 3 deep inhales, and then we rub it on the back of their neck. And then the last thing I'll do is I'll have them just do this, and it's like a super, super awesome experience for them. And it just creates, like, I don't know, it gives them a true experience. And then wild orange is just making them feel happy, and they're like, wow, that really smells like an orange, and they get to see how pure the oils are. So we just talk about how, you know, if you go to, you know, Whole Foods and you get orange on the shelf and it tells you not to take it internally, then you should run the other way, because you should be able to, you know, take that internally. So that's how I work it in. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. I'm actually surprised I remembered as much as I did, you guys. Let me just go through it. It's, yeah, you know, I was listening to Lisa last night, and she talked about how some people, you know, they're not comfortable. They're not comfortable asking people for the $5. And I have to say, my husband is at every single class with me. He supports me 100%. And he was like so nervous about the $5 thing. Not that I shouldn't charge it. And I was kind of too, but I was ignoring it, because I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to try it, because I need to do something else. And, you know, he's like, are you sure they know they have to pay $5? I'm like, it's on the invite. And if somebody says to me they're going to invite their friend, I say, send them the invite. Forward that to them, so that they're not like thinking they're gonna be making things for free. And then I say it throughout the class, like, when I give the summary of the class, I said, then we're gonna get into making rolls for $5. Like, I say it a few times, but my husband, he is so confident. He's like so confident in me, he doesn't care. But he was like in the corner, my first class, like, I was gonna go. And when I was like, who wants to make this roller for $5? And the people are raising their hand, he's like, oh, they don't care. No one has said anything to me about the $5. Just be confident about it. Be like, it's $5. Like, this costs me money. Like, I mean, I don't talk about that, but like, it does. And when they pay for it, they are more likely to use it. We want them to use these. It's not just about making money. We want to change their life. So we want them to use the things that we know they work. We want them to use the things that they made. So if you give it away for free, they're probably less likely to make it. And then, you know, what kind of business do you have? You have to be a smart business person too. So.
Missy, can I just address one of the questions from Kate, who's a nurse? I think the top 10 would be perfect for nurses, because you've got the immune system support, you got something to help them sleep. So I think that would actually be a fantastic one to offer. And Jody, you can probably comment on that as well.
I think you know, if you're gonna just get one, I think you could do one forever. You know, even with our regular intro classes where we're not even doing a make and take, I think that sticking to the top 10 is always a smart idea. And so you could just do the essentials make and take over and over and over again. You don't ever have to buy another one if you don't want to. Actually, that was my plan. I was like, I'm only buying one of these things, but then it got a little fun.
Well, Lori is on here, and she is a yogi, and what they're doing is every month at yoga studios, they're going to just offer a different class just to keep people coming back. They'll do pets, they'll do expecting moms, they'll do new moms, like all that kind of stuff. So anyone that has a hair salon or anything like that, you can do a monthly theme, and you just keep going back every month, and you can just keep repeating that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is great.
For sure. And definitely don't forget to go back and learn about the trifold and how to use it. You know, not every circumstance you're going to be able to do a make and take. You're just not. But you can do a class in a quicker, more efficient way. Some people do network marketing, or not network marketing, but networking groups, and you only have like 15 minutes. Take that trifold. That's your ticket. That's the thing. People will take it and run with it. I just did a class it wasn't a class, it was a one-on-one at a coffee shop. And girl sat next to me and was like, hey, is that doTERRA? And I gave her my trifold. It was like, oh, this is what I've been waiting for my whole life. So I wouldn't call myself like a go-getter. I started making a trifold in 2015. Like, I still have it on my computer, but I didn't finish it. I didn't have the vision like Lisa does. So I'm just glad she just did it.
Missy, can you answer that question?
Have you advertised or used Eventbrite?
For your classes?
Oh, I haven't advertised my classes yet. I've really kept it to personal invites. I'm not a big person on social media to invite that way. It doesn't work for me, at least. And I think I wanted to keep this really personal. Most of the time I'm having them in my home. And so I wasn't spreading that all over Facebook or Instagram, you know? So I've kept it really personal, and they get right back to me. So it's just been a texting thing. Doesn't mean I won't do it in the future. I haven't done it. Which is another great thing, to re-engage your customers. Like, hey, I'm having these really fun classes and they're at my house. Come to my home. That's really personal. Yeah.
Thank you, Missy.
You're welcome. Anything
Awesome
else?
job.
Anything? Okay, I hope I was clear enough. And again, if you want this document, just message me. I'm Missy Precourt on Facebook. So thank you guys for being engaging. I can stop sweating now.
You can relax now, Missy.
Well, you guys have a good day, and I hope your make and takes go swimmingly. Please let me know how they go. I love hearing how they are, even though this is not my system at all. Bye, guys.